If you ever have any comments or questions out there, please feel free to put those in the chat or send them to me. You can find me at comebackyoga.org. My name is Eric. And 8 a.m. A very, very good morning and welcome. Welcome to your yoga class with our focus on the lower body, the center of gravity. My name is Eric. I want to welcome you on behalf of Comeback Yoga. Comeback Yoga is a nonprofit organization that works towards providing free classes and workshops for veterans and their families up and down the um, Front Range here in Colorado, from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs and everything in between. We have 50 something classes out there for you to join. We'd love for you to come and participate. We'd love for you to come and see if you can qualify for one of our trainings. We're always looking for teachers. And uh, if you have an opportunity to donate to this important project, we could sure use your funds. Uh, and you can find all of that on comebackyoga.org. And without further ado, let's go ahead and start our yoga practice with our emphasis on the lower body. So we want to start seeing what we can do to release the lower body so that the whole organism can start to relax and come into that parasympathetic response. And so why not start at the center of gravity? And so our first pose, we'll go ahead and get into our first pose, and then I will go through the precepts, through the principles of the practice. But our first pose is the Hindi squat. So just go ahead and take a nice big wide step out and then start dropping the tailbone. So you can use your blocks. You can help support yourself, but you want to meet yourself right where you're at. All right. First principle is to breathe in such a way that there is no pausing in the breath cycle. So you're breathing in through the nostril, and then you're breathing out through the nostril between a 4 and a 6 count. But you want to be smooth and easy, no pausing in the breath cycle. That's our first principle, is no pausing in the breath cycle. And then our next principle that we want to look at is finding pleasant sensations. So you want to find your comfortableness within the pose or the exercise or the movement. I call it finding your sweet spot on an intensity scale of 1 to 10, 1 being we don't feel anything, 10 is sharp and painful. We want to find that 4, 5, 6 level of intensity where you're engaged yet relaxed. It's comfortable, it's pleasant. You're noticing a nice stretch, but you're not overdoing it. You're not trying to compete with yourself. You're not trying to force anything. The particular stretch or movement or exercise is pleasant in its nature. That's what we're looking for. So here we're trying to open up the hips and then finding a traction in the spine, relieving the lower back. And breathing, no pausing in the breath cycle. Find your sweet spot. And then look for any opportunities for relaxation. Or you might find a big organic breath that comes out of nowhere. Or any opportunities where the mind relaxes and you just become very relaxed and focused. All right. And then let's go ahead and come down into our seat, and we'll straighten out our legs. And then as you straighten out your legs, you want to give this little tapotment movement where you just kind of getting the blood flowing, getting that lymph flowing. You might feel some tingling and getting that. Yeah. There it is. Okay. And then we're going to come into the next stretch, which is our old-fashioned butterfly stretch from gym class. So we'll just take our feet, put the bottoms of our feet together, and then you can just put your hands behind your back here, just supporting yourself, and start sitting straight up, and then give a little flutter on those knees. Just give it. It should be light. You should not be. It should feel good. Just this little bounce, and then look for any opportunities for relaxation, or where you might see any organic breaths. Or all right, and then come on, sit straight up, and then you want to start taking your hands and grabbing your feet, and then start drawing your torso towards your feet, your torso towards your feet, your torso towards your feet, and you start reaching. And then you can give that little bounce too. That will start to relax. Look for any pleasant sensations, okay? No pausing in the breath cycle. Find the sweet spot. Look for any pleasant sensations. And that, like I just had a big organic breath. So, any opportunities for something to relax, any part of the body to relax, big organic breaths, or an opportunity for the mind to relax and become focused and centered here now. And then relax. And then go ahead and shake that out. Go ahead and shake it out. Pop, 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 pop. Okay. And then let's open up the hips, okay, shall we? So this is a way to we'll start by just dropping your knees over to the side, and you want to sit straight up, and we're going to do a little twist here. So that right hand's going to come to the outside of the left thigh here, and then your left hand is going to support yourself in this twist from the tailbone as you lift up on the inhale, and then start exhaling and twisting and looking over your left shoulder, this twist. And breathe, no pausing in the breath cycle. Find the sweet spot in the twist. And then look for any pleasant sensations, any opportunities to relax, big organic breaths, or any opportunities for the mind to relax. That relaxed attentiveness. And then release. And you can do a little counter twist to that, and then switch it up. So just flop your legs right over to the other side, gently and easily, of course. I say flop, but you want to be intentional. All right, and then you want to lift up. That left hand's going to go to the outside of your right leg, and then that right hand's going to support yourself at the tailbone, and then lifting up in through the inhale, and on that exhale, twisting over to the right. Inhale, twisting, exhaling over to the right. And breathing, no pausing in the breath cycle. Look for any pleasant sensations. Find the sweet spot. See if you can just feel that nice engagement, but relaxed. That relaxed attentiveness. And that's about the same allotted time. So we'll go ahead and release that. Do a little counter twist. Come back to center. And now we're going to go back and forth with the hips. So we're just going to go back and forth. So on one side, and then we're just going to go whoop right over to the other side. And then back and forth. And back and forth. Back and forth. It should feel pleasant. Working on those hips, the lower body. We're also coordinating peripheral nervous system. And then go ahead and shake it out. And go ahead and That tapotement should feel real good. Okay. And then let's go ahead and move on. And we're going to move on into child's pose. Okay, so child's pose. So the toes are going to be together, and then the knees are going to be spread apart. Sometimes that's intense on the knees, so you can pull the mat in and give yourself a little patting on the knees. But as you find your position, you want to start bringing the torso down to the mat, down to the mat, and then you find your comfort zone. And then if you can get your forehead to a block or to the mat, that will be beneficial. You can roll the forehead out, bringing blood flow into the prefrontal lobe. I'm going to use my arms to support me. I have a mic on, so I have to be cognizant of that. But I'm still getting a nice stretch in the hips as the torso moves towards the floor. And I can even support my head by bringing a knuckle or bringing my hands to that third eye center right in between your eyebrows. That's a really good one. Just look for any pleasant sensations and maybe massaging the forehead, bringing that blood flow into the prefrontal lobe. Curious, open, allowing, and loving. That is the activation of the prefrontal lobe. Curiosity, openness, allowingness, and then that sense of peace. And breathe. No pausing in the breath cycle. Find your sweet spot and then look for any opportunities for pleasant sensations. Maybe some type of relaxation in the body, a big organic breath, or any opportunities for the mind to relax. That relaxed attentiveness, that contentedness. Everything is okay here and now. Pleasant sensations. Just watch for them. Any organic breaths. And then start coming on up. And then go ahead and sit down and open up the legs. And we'll do a little bit of that tapotement. Wonderful. Okay, I hope that's feeling as good for you as it does for me. I needed this practice. Wow. Okay, and then let's go ahead and come into figure four. So, figure four. So, go ahead and lay on your back. And then your feet are on the mat. Your knees are pointed towards the ceiling. And then take that right ankle, put it over your left knee. Okay, and you can create as much tension as you'd like. As much tension as you like. You can press down on that, opening up the hip, offering a little bit more stimulation, or you can reach through and grab your hamstring and pull this figure four towards your torso. That would be the most intense stretch, and then you can even lengthen through the left heel, straightening your leg and really giving a nice hamstring stretch. Those would be for my yogi friends that are quite flexy. And again, all of the principles are the same. No pausing in the breath cycle. Find the sweet spot. That intensity level that's between a 4 and a 6. And then look for any pleasant sensations, any opportunities to relax, big organic breaths, or any relaxation of the mind. Just present, focused here now. Switch that up. Right leg comes down, and then your left ankle too. And then balance that out. Have a nice stretch. The hips, center of gravity. psoas, all of the deep six, the deep six. Those are your muscles all the way around the psoas. And release that. And then we'll come up. Go ahead and bring yourself up. We'll come into a pigeon real quick. Let's see, how much time do we have? Okay, got 10 minutes. That's great. All right, so let's come into pigeon. So I like to start with pigeon from a little downward facing dog. This is really good anyway. Come into downward facing dog and then give yourself a little warm up, bending the knees, pedaling out the heels. Just waking up the hamstring, getting those uh, calves. Okay, here we go. Lifting up that right leg and then the right knee to the right wrist for pigeon on the right. And then again, find your sweet spot, find your comfort level. For me, I'm just going to come down to my, supported by my arms. I can still have a nice stretch. And breathing, no pausing in the breath cycle. That no pausing in the breath cycle is very soothing to the animal part of your nervous system. And then always looking for any opportunities for pleasant sensations. You might feel something relax. You might have a big organic breath or that moment of clarity. And then start coming on up. Curl those left toes under, kick that right leg back, little downward facing dog in transition. And then on the left side, bringing the left knee to the left wrist for the other side. No pausing in the breath cycle. And then look for any pleasant sensations, opportunities to relax, big organic breaths, or that relaxed attentiveness where you're just neutral. Thoughts come, thoughts go, no resisting, no holding on to, no conjuring up, just wherever you're right here, right now. And then start coming on up. That's about the same amount of allotted time. And we'll curl those right toes under, kick that left leg back, shake it out, and then come to a seat and we'll give that little tapotment. Little pop, 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 pop. All right. And then the big kahuna. I call this the big kahuna. This is the real work. We did all that warm up so that we can do this. All right, maybe I can adjust this camera just a little tiny bit. So sorry for that. I try to get it perfect just every time, but sometimes we need a little adjustment. But find an apparatus if it feels good for you to use as a way of balancing yourself. Put that right leg up first. Okay, that right leg up first. And then when now I'm going to guide us through a little PNF stretching. So you want to press down into that left hip. You see how there's this angle in the knee, and then that press down into the hip, and you want to actively engage at a comfortable level for 7 seconds. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release that for just a moment, and then come right back into it. It might be a little bit further, and just breathe into it for 7 seconds, And notice any pleasant sensations. Still, not forcing anything, and breathing right into it, into that stretch, into the left hip. And then release. And then one more time. Since we've been doing this, I notice a huge shift in myself. Do you notice a big shift in yourself? Is there a lot more space in that hip and that psoas? Is it feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more relaxed when you release? And then go ahead and release that. Now we're going to come into the hamstring. So you want to pull your toes to the nose. Good place to use your blocks too if you want to use your blocks. But you want to press into that hamstring for 7, 6 at a comfortable level. You don't want to force anything, but that engagement at a 4, 5, 6 level of engagement, and relax. Relax the hamstring. And then again, coming back into that hamstring for 7 seconds, engaging it at a comfortable level that feels good. Pulling the toes to the nose. And then release. And then one more time. Pressing through that hamstring. Pressing through that hamstring. Through the heel. And then release. Okay? And then switch it up. Switch up those feet. So left foot to the ground, and then go ahead and start leaning into that right psoas quadricep for 7, 6, and then no forcing it, no pausing. Enjoy it. And then release, give it a little release, and then right back into it. Okay, and then the waist down, you want it to be stretching yet engaged. There's this light engagement, and release. And then time. Our piano stretches, we want to do it 3 times for 7 seconds on each side for each stretch. We'll keep this nice and balanced. All right, and then back into the hamstring. Back into the hamstring. So this is the left hamstring, pulling those toes to the nose. All right, and then leaning into that stretch, that hamstring, at a 4, 5, 6 level of intensity. For me, it doesn't take much. For me, I'm an old rugby player, so I didn't yet get those hamstrings the way I should have. So I've got a little scar tissue. But you want to just keep working at it. Relax after 7 seconds. Give it a little space, and then right back into it. And finding that you might find a little bit more space on that second engagement, that light engagement, 4, 5, 6. No pausing in the breath cycle, always finding pleasant sensations. And then relax. And then right back into it. 3rd time's a charm. And go ahead and release that. All right. And then let's go ahead, sit down, straighten out our legs, give that little tapotement. And we're coming into the last minute and a half or so of class. So I like to bring the practicality of the practice into the real world, into the real day. So throughout the day, what have we learned here? And how can we make this practical into your day? All right. Well, yoga is a science of managing the nervous system. We do it by stimulating different parts of the nervous system. Give yourself a hug, right arm over left, bringing some little serotonin and oxytocin into the body. And then you can switch it up, left arm, you just touching opposite sides of the body. And then a little snap on each side of the head. You can see your hands in the peripheral vision. And then just in a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3, and a little tap on the head. All right. All right. Balancing out left and right hemisphere of the brain. And then a little prefrontal lobe stimulation. And then just recognize your center of gravity right through the tailbone into the center of the earth, right up your spine, into the top of the head, into the universe. That's your center of gravity, your sea legs. No pausing in the breath cycle is pleasing to the animal body. When your body is breathing in this relaxed, no pausing in the breath cycle, it's pleasing to the nervous system. It's relaxed, it's safe. And then throughout your day, always find the sweet spot, that relaxed engagement. And always look for pleasant sensations and opportunities to relax. Big organic breaths, or that relaxedness of the mind, that relaxed attentiveness, present, here, now, content. That contentness beyond conditions. I want to thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me today. From one veteran to another, and all those that care for us, love us, and support us, have an amazing day. Be safe, be curious. Namaste.